Hi and welcome. I'm in South Orlando and I'm visiting my daughter. So I thought I would use her shawl to um, to do the next video. The next video is very, very special. It's the auspicious number 3. I'm going to be talking about the Gimel, but the sets of 3 that I'm going to talk about are going to be super, super beneficial for you to hear because those 3 things we need to have in our body um, to, to function and to be a better person. So we're going to start. So I hope you'll enjoy it. Okay, so as I said, I'm in South Orlando and this is the beautiful bookcase and this is the beautiful shawl. Okay, so we're going to start with the letter Gimel. The gematria of Gimel is 3, and I'm going to tell you many secrets of the number 3. Here's a stuffed animal, and it's a Gamal. This Gamal came all the way from Eretz Yisrael, and it's Gimel for Gamal. As you can see, the Gimel has a long neck. The Gimel has a long neck, just like a Gamal. In fact, the Gamal gets its name from Ligmel, which means to be weaned, just like a child who is weaned after so many years, 2 years, 2.5 years, whatever. But by 3 years old, they're weaned and they don't need their mother anymore. The Gamal also gets the name Gamal because it could go in the desert for a long time without needing any food or water. That's my little drawing of a Gamal. Okay, we've already covered Aleph and Beis, and now we're doing the Gimel. But now look how all 3 of them connect. We did the Aleph is Alpecha Chochma, and the Beis is the Beis Hamikdash, and Gimel is Gimlot Chasadim. Those are the 3 pillars that holds the world up. 3 pillars: studying Torah, Avoda, which is prayer, and being kind to one another. Gimlot Chasadim. Here's the Aleph and the Beis and the Gimel. 3 pillars that hold the world up. And we're studying the Gimel now. Okay, this is to me amazing because it talks about Avraham Avinu, which was his tent, was really the first Chabad house. And I'll prove it to you by showing you the gematria of how Avraham Avinu's tent, which is a Beis Chabad, was the first one. Okay, so it says in the Torah that Avraham planted Vayta Etzel. So he planted an Eshel tree. So there is a story in with the Vilna Gaon that there was this very rich, wealthy man, and he had a mansion, and he had doors in the front, and doors in the back, and doors in the side, and east and west, just like Avram's beautiful tent. And he invited people over, and he gave them to eat, and he gave them to drink, and he was extremely hospitable to everybody, and he was a big philanthropist, and everything was going great. But then one day, his house burned down. It should happen to no one. His house burned down. So he went to the Vilna Gaon and he said, I don't understand. I have this big, huge mansion, and every day it's full of people that are needy, and I take care of them, and I let them sleep in my house, and I let them eat and drink in my house, and I have big Shabbatons in my house. I don't understand. Why did my house burn down? So the Vilna Gaon said, Avraham planted Beit Eshel. He planted an Eshel tree. Aleph, Achila. Can you see? Aleph is Achila. Shin, Ishtia, to drink. Lamed is Levaya, to escort. The Vilna Gaon said, you did Aleph, you gave them to drink, to eat. You did Shin, Shtia, you gave them to drink. But guess what? You did not escort them out of the house. You did not let them go out of the house. So, what did you leave with? You have Achila, Shtia, Livya, which means to escort. You only did the Aleph and the Shin, which is ash, which is fire. You only did the Aleph and the Shin. You did Achila and Shtia, and you're left with Ash, fire. That is why your house burned down. So make sure when you have your Shabbos guests or a barbecue, whatever you're doing, escort your guests out. Escort them out. Because that's exactly what Avraham did. Now, this is where I was promised you the gematria of the Chabad house. Watch. Okay. Vayita Eshel and Beis Chabad have the same gematria. If you add up all the Vayita Eshel, you get 426. If you do Beis Chabad gematria, you get 426. Add them up. That's your math problem. Go ahead, and you will see. Avraham Avinu had the first Chabad house. The gematrias match. Now I told you about the number threes. Promised you the secrets of how Hashem does things with number three. We have Avos. We have Avraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. We have Chesed, Gevurah, and Tiferet. Chesed is your right hand, Gevurah is your left hand, Tiferet is your heart. Then you have the three heroes that took us out of Mitzrayim. The three heroes are Moshe Rabbeinu, Aharon, and Miriam. The three heroes that took us out of Mitzrayim, a set of three. Now, which is so awesome. Keep saying the word amazing. I must love that word. What is so kind of Hashem that every Jew possesses this DNA. The DNA is Rachmanim, Baishanim, and Gimlot Chasadim. Every Jew, inside of him, his DNA, he has to be merciful, bashful, and doing kindness. Also, three. And there's a song like that. Also, the Jewish people are divided into three. Kohanim, Leviim, and Israel. Kohanim, Leviim, and Israel. Now, let me explain. The number three also is shalom, is peace. When you have two people, they're going to be opposites. But when you have the third person, it brings shalom. For example, two people are walking in the street. One says, Shalom Aleichem, and the other one replies back, Alechem Shalom. It's two opposites. Two is opposite, but three is peace between you. For example, the husband and wife, there's three partners in a marriage. There is Ish, Isha, and the Kadosh Baruch Hu. We have Hashem. The third makes peace. You have the husband, the wife, and Hashem. Shalom. Shalom makes peace. We have three angels. We have three angels also. We have Michael, Raphael, and Gabriel. But guess what? In the Shamayim, Michael is water and Gabriel is fire. Guess who keeps the peace between fire and water to coexist? Hashem. Here's the third one. Shlomo HaMelech said, when you have three ropes put together, three tied together, and you make they'll never separate. Again, 3. That's what Shlomo HaMelech said. Let me explain us something so you will try to understand. It's in this week's Pasha's Noso, and I found this fascinating, so I hope I can explain it to you so you could enjoy it. When we keep Torah, we're like the Leviim because we keep the mitzvahs just like they did, and we're sort of like tzaddikim, like they are. Our body is like the desert. It needs to eat, it needs to drink, it needs to survive. So our body is like a desert. Levi had 3 sons. He had Gershon, Kahas, who was a higher level as tzaddikim, he was Kahas, and you had Merari. Gershon means to divorce. Divorce yourself, Gerush. Divorce yourself from evil. Aseh tov, and go away from evil. Aseh tov v'shomira. Kahas, the Levi, he has to gather everybody, gather the nations to explain that there's one God. Bring everybody, to unite everybody as one to serve the Almighty. Merari is a simple tam, just like it says Ish Tam for Yaakov in Toldos. Merari was tam. He was a simpleton. His job was to be batal, to have humility. So we need all 3 in us to function and elevate us to be and refine ourselves to keep the Almighty's mitzvahs. So we need to have Gershon to move away from evil. We need Gershon to move away from evil. We need Kahas to unite as one, to remember that there's only one God. And we need Merari to have humility and to be bitter. I enjoyed that one. I thought that was very beautiful. I learned that. Now here's another one, which is also, I learned at Rav Shusterman's Shir, Yosef Shusterman. I learned that the number 176 is auspicious. Just like we have 22 letters of the alphabet, and then you have the number 8, which is completion, like the bris, or the Mashiach is coming, that's going to be 8. Okay, so in Pasha's Naso, which is this week's Pasha, it's the longest Pasha of the year, and it has 176 Pasha. Tehillim, Kuf Yotes, also has 176. And the Gemara, Babasha, has 176. So it's 22 letters of the alphabet, which is completion of 8 times 8, you get 176. Here we go. This week's Pasha, we have 176, the Tehillim 176, and in the Gemara, it's 176. And you get that from 22 letters of the alphabet times 8, which is also, I thought that was fascinating. I hope you enjoyed these stories. And don't forget to comment if you have any questions, or subscribe, or share with somebody. Thank you. And I hope you enjoyed the next story.